What if I told you that in your pocket change? Right now, there could be a simple-looking coin that is actually worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to collectors. Because of hidden minting errors, rare dates, and unique historical details that make these quarters some of the most valuable pieces in American coin history. And today, we are going to uncover the secrets of rare quarter dollars, the coins that transformed from ordinary pocket change into extraordinary treasures that can change your life. In your pocket, the untold history of valuable coins. In the year 2001, the United States Mint released the North Carolina quarter dollar as part of the highly popular 50-state quarters program, a historic initiative launched in 1999 that aimed to honor each of the 50 states with a unique design on the reverse side of the Washington quarter. The North Carolina quarter was the 12th coin issued in the series and the second coin of the year 2001, following the New York quarter. This coin quickly captured the attention of collectors, historians, and the general public, not only because of its design, but also because of the rich history it represented. The obverse of the coin retained the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan in 1932, which has been a long-standing feature of the quarter-dollar denomination. The reverse design, however, is where the true story of North Carolina comes alive. It depicts the historic scene of the Wright brothers' first successful flight at Kitty Hawk in 1903. The image shows the Wright flyer in mid-air, with Orville Wright piloting the aircraft and Wilbur Wright running alongside. It is accompanied by the inscriptions First Flight North Carolina and 1789, which is the year North Carolina ratified the United States Constitution, the choice of the Wright brothers' flight as the central theme for the North Carolina quarter was both historically significant and culturally resonant. The first powered flight at Kitty Hawk marked a pivotal moment in human history, a leap from centuries of dreams and attempts at flight to the realization that controlled, sustained flight was possible. This achievement not only transformed transportation and technology, but also placed North Carolina permanently on the map as the birthplace of aviation. The design was created by artist John Mercanti, the chief engraver of the United States Mint, whose work captured the energy and determination of the Wright brothers' effort. The coin also carries the mint mark, either PD or S, depending on whether it was struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint, respectively. The North Carolina quarter was released into circulation on March 12, 2001, with an estimated mintage of over 1.05 billion coins from Philadelphia and Denver combined. In addition, the San Francisco Mint produced proof versions in both clad and 90% silver compositions for collectors. The coin quickly became a favorite among the public due to its striking imagery and the universal appeal of the story it tells. For numismatists, the North Carolina quarter presents a variety of collectible opportunities, including uncirculated examples, proof strikes, silver proofs, and error coins that emerged during production. Some notable errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, and coins with doubled die obverse or reverse features, which can command premium prices among collectors depending on their rarity and condition. The historical background behind the Wright brothers' achievement is essential to understanding the full significance of the North Carolina quarter. On December 17, 1903, at Kill Devil Hills near Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers successfully completed 4 flights with their powered aircraft. The first flight, piloted by Orville, lasted just 12 seconds and covered 120 feet. The longest flight of the day, piloted by Wilbur, lasted 59 seconds and covered 852 feet. These modest numbers by modern standards were revolutionary at the time and proved that controlled powered flight was achievable. The Wright brothers chose Kitty Hawk for its steady winds and soft sandy terrain, which provided an ideal testing ground for their glider experiments leading up to the powered flight. The site has since become a historic landmark, drawing visitors from around the world to witness the place where the age of flight began. The North Carolina quarter not only celebrates the first flight, but also acknowledges the broader history of the state. North Carolina was the 12th state to join the Union in 1789. and has a rich heritage in agriculture, industry, and culture. From the Outer Banks to the Appalachian Mountains, the state has played a key role in the development of the United States. The coin serves as a reminder of both the state's contributions to technological progress and its enduring cultural identity. In the years following its release, the North Carolina quarter has remained a sought-after piece for both casual and serious coin collectors. High-grade examples, particularly those graded MS-68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch significant prices at auction. Silver-proof versions, especially those in pristine condition, also hold strong value. The widespread circulation of over 1 billion coins means that most examples are common in worn condition, but finding one in exceptional, uncirculated state can still be a rewarding challenge. Collectors often store these coins in 50-state quarter maps albums or display cases. The North Carolina quarter also serves as an educational tool in classrooms where it helps teach students about the history of flight, the geography of North Carolina, and the process of coin minting. The fact that the coin links a specific state to an event of global significance makes it stand out even within the diverse 50-state quarters program. The legacy of the North Carolina quarter is also tied to the long-term impact of the 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and was credited with sparking one of the largest coin-collecting booms in United States history. Millions of Americans, young and old, began searching through their change to collect each state quarter as it was released. This surge in interest brought new attention to the field of numismatics and encouraged many to explore other areas of coin collecting beyond the state quarters. The design selection process for the North Carolina quarter was a collaborative effort involving state officials, the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources, and public input. Several design concepts were considered, but the image of the Wright Flyer was chosen for its historical importance and its immediate recognition factor. The final design was approved by the Secretary of the Treasury after review by the Citizens Commemorative Coin Advisory Committee and the Commission of Fine Arts. From a minting perspective, the production of over 1 billion coins required precision and quality control at the highest level. The Philadelphia and Denver mints employed advanced machinery to strike the coins at high speed while maintaining design clarity and detail. Despite this high level of production, some imperfections inevitably occurred, leading to the error coins that now attract collectors' attention. Over 2 decades after its release, the North Carolina quarter continues to hold a place of honor among modern U.S. commemorative coins. Its combination of historical significance, artistic design, and mass appeal ensures that it will remain a memorable and valued piece for years to come. Whether kept as part of a complete 50-state quarter collection displayed as a tribute to the Wright brothers or simply cherished as a symbol of North Carolina's place in history, this coin serves as a tangible link between America's past and its continuing journey into the skies and beyond. Valuable coins history. One small quarter. One big story, unlocking the hidden history and value of the 2021 quarter dollar. The 2021 quarter dollar holds a unique place in United States coinage history as it emerged during a time of transition within the America the Beautiful quarter program and the launch of new designs under the directives of the U.S. Mint. The America the Beautiful quarter program began in 2010 and concluded in early 2021 with the final design honoring the Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site in Alabama, which paid tribute to the bravery and dedication of African-American pilots and support crews during World War II. The 2021 Tuskegee Airmen Quarter was the 56th and final release of the program, marking the end of an 11-year journey that highlighted national parks and historic sites from every state and U.S. territory. The design on the reverse of the Tuskegee Airmen Quarter features a depiction of a pilot wearing gear in front of the iconic Moton Field Control Tower with 2 P-51 Mustang aircraft flying. Overhead, the inscription reads, "They fought 2 wars," referring both to the war against fascism abroad and the fight for civil rights at home. The obverse of the coin still featured the familiar 1932 portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, which has been a hallmark of the quarter dollar for decades. The coin was produced in several mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with variations in mint marks and finishes, such as proof versions, uncirculated collector issues, and circulating strikes. The mintage figures for the 2021 Tuskegee Airman Quarter are notable because they represent the final chapter in a widely collected modern series, which means they have both historical and numismatic importance. Later in 2021, the U.S. Mint also introduced a new quarter design honoring George Washington crossing the Delaware. This transitional design served as a bridge between the America, the Beautiful program, and the forthcoming American Women Quarters program, which started in 2022. The Crossing the Delaware Quarter displayed a dynamic portrayal of Washington commanding his troops across the icy Delaware River during the Revolutionary War, an image inspired by historical paintings but adapted for coinage. The artistic work on this coin was executed with a high level of detail, showcasing the movement of the boat and the determination on Washington's face. The historical significance of these coins is multifaceted for collectors. They mark the close of one era and the beginning of another. For historians, they encapsulate important cultural and national narratives for everyday users. They reflect the rich storytelling potential embedded in even the smallest denominations. Both coins were minted with the same specifications as standard U.S. quarters, a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a composition of copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced millions of these coins for circulation, while the San Francisco mint focused on proof strikes intended for collectors. The process of designing and approving these coins followed a meticulous path involving artists, engravers, historians, and advisory committees. Each design went through several conceptual sketches before final approval by the Secretary of the Treasury. The decision to honor the Tuskegee Airmen in particular was part of a broader effort to recognize the contributions of diverse groups in American history. It brought renewed public awareness to their story, inspiring educational initiatives and museum exhibits across the country. The Crossing the Delaware Quarter, on the other hand, appealed to those who appreciate Revolutionary War history and the enduring symbolism of George Washington's leadership. The release of two distinct designs in the same year made 2021 quarters especially interesting to numismatists, as such years with major design changes often draw increased collector interest. Market trends indicate that while most 2021 quarters are readily available at face value, certain high-grade examples, especially those graded MS-67 or higher by professional services, can command premiums among collectors in the future. Era varieties, if discovered, could further boost interest as era coins from transitional years often become valuable. These errors might include misstrikes, die cracks off center strikes, or unusual planchet flaws. Though not yet widely reported, the possibility remains. Given the large mintages and rapid production schedules surrounding circulation needs, the packaging for collector issues in 2021 also reflected the significance of the year with special sets, including both Tuskegee Airmen and Crossing the Delaware quarters in uncirculated or proof finishes. These sets often come with informational inserts detailing the historical background and design process of each coin, further enhancing their appeal beyond numismatics. The imagery on these coins offers a lens into how the United States chooses to represent its own history. The Tuskegee Airmen design speaks to themes of equality, perseverance, and patriotism under adversity, while the Crossing the Delaware design embodies courage, leadership, and the struggle for independence. Both carry messages that resonate with modern audiences, reminding us that the past continues to shape the national identity. Collecting 2021 quarters, whether from pocket change rolls from banks or special mint issues, provides a tangible way to connect with this turning point in U.S. coinage history. and with careful preservation, these coins will remain as enduring mementos of a year when the nation's quarters told two distinct and powerful stories, and as the American Women Quarters program took flight in 2022, the 2021 issues stand as a bridge between a decade-long celebration of national sites and a new focus on individuals who have shaped the country, making them a must-have for any serious collector and a fascinating piece of history for anyone who takes the time to look closely at the change in their hand. Uncover the secrets hidden in the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter dollar, a tiny piece of metal that tells the vast story of nature history and American pride. The 2014 quarter dollar Great Sand Dunes coin is part of the United States Mint America, the Beautiful Quarters program, which began in 2010 and continued through 2021, featuring designs that showcase national parks and other significant sites from each state territory, and the District of Columbia. The Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, located in southern Colorado, was chosen to represent the state in this series. This park is famous for having the tallest sand dunes in North America, rising up to 750 feet against the backdrop of the rugged Sangre de Cristo Mountains, creating a breathtaking and unique landscape. The Great Sand Dunes were formed over thousands of years as sand and sediment from the surrounding mountains were carried by streams and winds into the valley where they were trapped by the mountains and weather. This process continues today, constantly reshaping the dunes. The park covers an area of over 14,900 acres and contains a variety of ecosystems, including grasslands, wetlands, forests, alpine lakes, and tundra. In addition to the massive dunes, the park is home to diverse wildlife such as elk, black bears, mule deer, bison, and a wide range of bird species. It also holds cultural significance as Native American tribes, including the Ute, Apache, and Navajo, have long histories connected to the land, with oral traditions, stories, and sacred sites in the region. The coin itself was released on August 25, 2014, as the fourth design in the 2014 America the Beautiful series. The obverse features the familiar 1932 portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan and refined for modern coinage, while the reverse was designed and sculpted by artist Don Everhart. Depicting a father and child playing at the base of the dunes with the sweeping sand and mountains in the background, this scene not only captures the natural beauty of the park, but also the human connection to this remarkable landscape, symbolizing recreation, exploration, and family heritage. The inscriptions on the reverse include Great Sand Dunes, Colorado 2014, and E Pluribus Unum. The design choice emphasizes the harmony between people and nature, showing that national parks are places for both preservation and enjoyment. The minting of the Great Sand Dunes quarter took place at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, with circulation strikes from Philadelphia and Denver and special collector proof and silver proof versions from San Francisco coins. From these mints can be identified by their respective mint marks, P, D, or S, located on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. In terms of specifications, the coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and is composed of a copper nickel-clad outer layer with a pure copper core. Proof versions include 90% silver editions, which are popular among collectors. Collectors and historians often seek out the Great Sand Dunes quarter not just for its beauty, but for its potential future value. While most circulation strikes are still common in everyday change, high-grade uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS-67 or higher by services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch strong prices in the numismatic market. Silver-proof versions and coins with unique minting errors, such as double dies off center strikes or missing inscriptions, can command premium values as well. These errors are rare and make the coin even more desirable to specialized collectors. Beyond its numismatic value, the Great Sand Dunes quarter serves as a miniature ambassador for one of America's most striking natural wonders. The release of the coin in 2014 coincided with ongoing efforts to promote tourism and environmental education in the park. Visitors to the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve can hike, climb, sled, or sandboard on the dunes, explore the Medano Creek that flows seasonally at their base, or trek into the backcountry of the surrounding wilderness. The park is also designated as an International Dark Sky Park, making it one of the best places in the United States to view the Milky Way and night skies free from light pollution. The history of the Great Sand Dunes area stretches back long before its designation as a national monument in 1932, and later as a national park and preserve in 2004. Archaeological evidence shows that humans have lived in the San Luis Valley for more than 11,000 years. Ancient peoples likely used the dunes for navigation, hunting, and cultural practices. Spanish explorers and settlers arrived in the 1600s, bringing new trade routes and livestock, which changed the landscape and economy of the region in the 19th century. Pioneers, prospectors, and homesteaders moved into the valley, drawn by the promise of land, water, and mineral resources. The dunes remained a site of fascination, mystery, and challenge for all who encountered them. When the America the Beautiful Quarters program selected the Great Sand Dunes for the Colorado entry, it was a fitting tribute to both the natural and human history of the region. The coin invites people across the country to learn about a place they might never have visited, and to imagine the wind-blown sands shifting in the shadow of the mountains. The design is more than an artistic representation. It is a story told in metal, a reminder that coins are not just currency, but cultural artifacts that carry the memory of a nation. The 2014 Great Sand Dunes Quarter stands as a perfect example of how art, history, geography, and human experience can all be captured in the palm of your hand. If you were to hold a mint, fresh Great Sand Dunes Quarter and turn it slowly in the light, you would see how the engraving captures fine textures from the ripples in the sand to the outlines of the mountain peaks beyond. You might also think about the journey of this coin from raw copper and nickel to a finished product struck with precision by high-tonnage presses at the United States. Mint then released into circulation, where it might pass through countless hands before arriving in the collection of someone who sees it not as loose change, but as a keepsake of a specific time, place, and story. In this way, the Great Sand Dunes Quarter is more than just a 25-cent piece. It is a connection to nature, history, and the artistry of American coinage. Coins History, 2015, quarter dollar. Kisatchie. A wild beauty captured in silver and copper, the 2015 Kisatchie quarter is more than just spare change. It is a window into the untamed heart of Louisiana and a hidden treasure for collectors. The 2015 quarter-dollar Kisatchie National Forest coin stands as one of the most fascinating releases in the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series introduced by the United States Mint in 2010 to honor national parks and historic sites across every state territory and the District of Columbia. The Kisatchie quarter was released as the 27th coin in the program, and the second quarter, issued in 2015, its reverse design honors the Kisatchie National Forest, located in the state of Louisiana, a region celebrated for its diverse wildlife, stunning natural landscapes, and historical significance. Kisatchie National Forest covers approximately 604,000 acres and is the only national forest in Louisiana established in 1930. It spans across multiple parishes and offers an incredible variety of habitats, from longleaf pine forests to bayous, swamps, and hardwood bottomlands. The forest is named after the Kichai or Kisatchie tribe, a subgroup of the Caddo Native American people who inhabited the region long before European settlers arrived. Their name and history give the forest cultural as well as ecological importance. The reverse of the Kisatchie quarter was designed by Susan Gamble and engraved by Joseph Mena. The image depicts a wild turkey in flight, a symbol of the forest's thriving wildlife. Below the turkey are longleaf pine trees, an ecosystem once widespread in the southeastern United States, but now reduced to a fraction of its original range. The design captures the moment of nature in motion, the powerful bird taking off from the trees embodying the vitality and preservation efforts of the forest above the scene. The inscriptions read, Kisatchie, Louisiana, E Pluribus Unum, and 2015, while the obverse, as with all America, the Portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 and modified over the years to suit modern minting standards. The release of the Kisatchie quarter drew attention not only for its visual beauty, but also for its representation of Louisiana's rich ecological and cultural heritage. Collectors were eager to obtain both circulation strike and special numismatic versions, including the proof coins struck in San Francisco, the uncirculated coins from Philadelphia and Denver, and the silver proof versions struck in 90% silver. These different mintages allow collectors to explore variations in luster strike detail and finish, which are all crucial in determining a coin's desirability and market value. The Kisatchie National Forest itself is an attraction that offers hiking, camping, birdwatching, and fishing with more than 40 wildlife species, including the red cockaded woodpecker, the Louisiana pine snake, and of course wild turkeys. The longleaf pine habitat in the forest is carefully managed through controlled burns and conservation efforts, which is part of why the United States Mint selected the turkey and pine trees as key elements for the coin's reverse design. This choice honors not only the land and wildlife, but also the work of conservationists and forest rangers who ensure the area's sustainability for generations to come. From a historical perspective, the Kisatchie quarter joins the long legacy of United States coinage that seeks to tell stories through small but powerful works of art. Each quarter in the America, the Beautiful series reflects a site that has both regional and national significance. The Kisatchie release carries the pride of Louisiana and is one of the few modern coins that directly features a wild animal in such a dynamic pose, making it stand out among the series for its sense of movement and vitality. For collectors, the Kisatchie quarter offers multiple points of interest, from its representation of a unique ecosystem to its relatively low mintage compared to some earlier state quarters released under the 1999 to 2008 program. While billions of quarters are struck for circulation, certain uncirculated and proof versions remain in far smaller quantities, making them more desirable for specialized collections. The silver proof version in particular holds appeal for those who appreciate both the beauty of the design and the intrinsic value of the precious metal. The coin was released for circulation on April 13, 2015, with an official launch ceremony held in Alexandria, Louisiana, near the forest itself. Events like these often attract local residents, coin enthusiasts, students, and historians, all eager to witness the unveiling of a new piece of Americana. The ceremony highlighted the role of the United States Mint in connecting the nation's coinage with its natural heritage. Speakers included local officials, representatives from the Forest Service, and members of the numismatic community, each emphasizing how the Kisatchie quarter serves as both an educational tool and a collectible work of art. The artistic choice of showing a wild turkey was deliberate. The bird is an emblem of the deep woods and is found throughout Louisiana's forests. Its impressive wingspan and distinctive fantail are instantly recognizable, and by portraying it mid-flight, the artist conveys both freedom and the importance of preserving the habitats these creatures depend on. The longleaf pines are equally symbolic. Once dominant in the southeastern United States, they now occupy less than 5% of their historical range, and their survival depends on careful forestry practices. Over time, the Kisatchie quarter has maintained steady collector interest, although not all America the Beautiful quarters achieve high market prices. Immediately, coins like this often see gradual appreciation, especially when preserved in pristine condition, graded by professional services, and stored properly away from environmental damage. Mint errors on this design are relatively scarce, but examples of off-center strikes, die, cracks, and doubled. Dyes have been reported by collectors. Such errors can significantly increase the value of an otherwise common coin, especially when certified as genuine by grading services like PCGS or NGC. The long historical connection between coinage and national identity is evident in the Kisachi quarter, just as the first coins of the United States carried symbols of liberty and strength. Modern quarters carry symbols of our natural and cultural heritage, telling stories that resonate far beyond the value of 25 cents. The Kisachi quarter reminds us that coins are more than money. They are miniature monuments to the places and ideals that shape the nation. If you want, I can now continue with the rest of the 2-hour script, expanding the history into more detail on Louisiana's ecological history, the America the Beautiful program design process, minting variations, and how to identify rare or valuable Kisachi quarters. That will let us hit your full 2-hour length requirement. Cover the untold story behind the 2002 Indiana quarter dollar, a coin that captures the speed, spirit, and history of the Hoosier state, while holding secrets every collector must know. The 2002 Indiana quarter dollar stands as the 19th coin released in the United States Mint 50 State Quarters program, which began in 1999 to honor each of the 50 states in the order they entered the Union or ratified the Constitution. Indiana joined the Union as the 19th state on December 11, 1816, and so its commemorative quarter was issued in 2002, making it a significant release both in numismatic terms and in the representation of state pride. The coin design embodies the state's identity in a way that merges history tradition and the forward-looking spirit of Indiana. The reverse side of the coin features an image of a race car reminiscent of the Indianapolis 500, one of the most famous automobile races in the world, alongside a geographic outline of the state. The race car itself reflects the deep connection Indiana has with motorsports, particularly with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which has become a symbol not only of the state, but also of American sports culture. This imagery is combined with 19 stars circling the design, each star representing the order in which Indiana entered the Union. The state outline serves as a geographical anchor, grounding the symbolism in a tangible reality. The words, "Crossroads of America," are inscribed to reflect Indiana's historical role as a major transportation hub due to its central location in the United States. This nickname is deeply rooted in history, dating back to early trade routes, waterways, and later railroads and highways, which converged in the state, making it a key link between the East and the West, between the North and the South. The designers wanted the coin to communicate both Indiana's heritage and its place in the modern world, where industry, agriculture, and transportation continue to define its economic and cultural landscape. The coin was designed by Donna Weaver, an accomplished sculptor-engraver for the United States Mint, and her work on the Indiana quarter is recognized for its balance between artistic representation and historical accuracy. The reverse was sculpted by Charles L. Vickers, whose skill in translating the design into the metallic medium ensured that each detail from the contours of the race car to the subtle shape of the state outline was faithfully preserved. The obverse of the coin, like all state quarters, features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932, but modified slightly for the 50 State Quarters program to enhance clarity and detail. Production of the 2002 Indiana quarter occurred at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, with proof versions also struck at the San Francisco Mint in both clad and 90% silver formats. Circulation strikes carry the P or D mint mark, while proofs carry the S mark. For collectors, the Indiana quarter offers multiple varieties not only in mint mark, but also in finish with uncirculated coins from mint sets displaying sharper details and a satin-like appearance, while business strikes intended for general circulation often show minor production imperfections. The mintage for the Philadelphia issue was over 362 million coins, while the Denver issue produced over 327 million, making it one of the more widely available state quarters in terms of raw numbers. However, high-quality examples in mint state, especially those graded MS-67 or higher, remain sought after due to the difficulty in finding perfectly struck coins without contact marks or blemishes. The historical significance of the coin goes beyond numismatics. It tells a story about Indiana itself, from its early days as part of the Northwest Territory, through its transformation into a modern state rich in cultural diversity and economic vitality. The Crossroads of America theme reflects not only physical transportation networks, but also the ways in which Indiana has served as a meeting point for different cultures, industries, and ideas. Over the decades, Indiana has been shaped by waves of migration, the growth of manufacturing, the rise of agriculture, and the enduring popularity of its sports traditions, including basketball and auto racing. The inclusion of the race car on the coin is not just a nod to the Indianapolis 500, but also a tribute to the innovation, engineering, and determination that motorsports demand. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway itself, built in 1909, is one of the oldest purpose-built automobile racing circuits in the world and has hosted countless historic events. Its presence in Indiana has had a lasting economic and cultural impact, making the race car a fitting symbol for the state in a commemorative coin program, intended to encapsulate state identities in a compact and widely distributed form. Collectors and historians alike appreciate the Indiana quarter for its layered symbolism. Each element, from the 19 stars to the state outline to the speed lines on the race car, speaks to different aspects of Indiana history and culture. The design manages to balance specificity with universality, allowing those outside Indiana to appreciate its circulation purpose. The coin has been featured in educational programs, teaching students about geography, history, and economics as part of the larger 50 State Quarters initiative, which was one of the most popular coin programs in U.S. history, engaging millions of Americans in collecting and learning about coins. In the numismatic market, the Indiana quarter has certain error varieties that attract specialized interest. Some examples include coins with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks, which can command premiums depending on rarity and condition. While most errors are relatively minor, the presence of any notable minting anomaly can turn an ordinary 25-cent piece into a collectible worth many times its face value. Proof versions with deep cameo contrast and silver composition also remain desirable among collectors who seek to assemble complete sets of the 50 state quarters. The 2002 Indiana quarter serves as a reminder that coins are more than just tools for commerce. They are miniature works of art that carry stories, symbols, and histories that can be passed from one generation to the next. For those who grew up in Indiana or have a connection to its traditions, this coin holds a special resonance. For those outside the state, it offers a glimpse into a place where speed meets history, where crossroads are not just points on a map, but intersections of people, cultures, and ideas. As time passes, the Indiana quarter will continue to hold its place in the vast tapestry of American coinage, representing not only the year 2002 in the 50 State Quarters program, but also a chapter in the story of a state that has played an outsized role in shaping the nation's infrastructure, industry, and identity. Whether found in loose change or preserved in a high-grade slab, the coin invites its holder to think about the forces that shaped it, the hands that designed it, and the stories it carries forward into the future. The river of no return to the riches of numismatic gold. Uncover the hidden story of the 2019 quarter dollar. The 2019 quarter dollar River of No Return is one of the most intriguing coins in the America the Beautiful Quarters program released by the United States Mint. This coin represents not only a monetary instrument, but also a small piece of American history encapsulated in metal. It was issued to honor the River of No Return wilderness in Idaho, a place that holds both natural beauty and a sense of historical significance. The River of No Return Wilderness, officially known as the Frank Church River of No Return Wilderness, is one of the largest contiguous wilderness areas in the United States outside Alaska. It covers more than 2.3 million acres and is named after the powerful Salmon River, whose currents are so strong that once you go downstream, it was historically said that you could never come back up. Hence the name River of No Return. The area is filled with rugged mountains, deep canyons, wild rivers, and diverse wildlife, and it has been preserved to maintain its natural state free from significant human interference. This wild and untamed land is symbolized beautifully on the reverse of the coin, which depicts a person in a drift boat navigating the Salmon River surrounded by trees and steep canyon walls. The design captures the spirit of adventure, danger, and raw beauty that the wilderness offers. The coin was designed by Emily Damstra, an artist known for her ability to portray natural subjects with lifelike precision, and engraved by Renata Gordon of the United States Mint. The obverse side of the coin features the traditional portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, which has been used on quarters since 1932, though with slight modifications over the years to enhance detail. The River of No Return quarter was released into circulation on November 4, 2019, and was also made available in special collector versions such as proof and silver proof editions minted at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. This release was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021 and featured 56 designs, each representing a national park or site from every state territory, and the District of Columbia. The River of No Return coin, in particular, attracted interest from collectors for its striking design and the significance of the wilderness. It represents, as with all coins, there are variations and minting errors that can make specific examples more valuable. Certain quarters from this series, with minting mistakes such as double dies off center strikes or other anomalies, have sold for significant amounts to collectors. In addition to its collectible value, the coin serves as an educational piece, reminding those who hold it of the vast untouched landscapes. Was renamed in honor of Senator Frank Church of Idaho, who was a strong advocate for wilderness preservation and played a major role in the passage of the Wilderness Act of 1964. The Salmon River itself is sometimes referred to as the River of No Return, because early settlers and adventurers who ventured into its currents found the journey back upstream nearly impossible. The coin in your pocket connects to these stories of human endurance, natural wonder, and the ongoing balance between use and preservation. This quarter, when examined closely, reveals intricate details from the flowing river to the trees on the canyon walls, each element carefully crafted to bring the scene to life in miniature. For those interested in collecting the 2019 River of No Return quarter, it is important to understand the different mint marks. Philadelphia quarters carry a P mint mark, Denver coins carry a D, and San Francisco coins carry an S with the proof, and silver-proof editions being particularly sought after by numismatists. The silver-proof versions are struck in 90% silver, giving them both intrinsic metal value and collectible appeal. Many collectors seek to obtain not just one, but all versions of the coin, including uncirculated and proof examples to complete their America the Beautiful Quarters collection. The release of this coin also brought renewed attention to Idaho as a destination for outdoor adventure and to the legacy of Frank Church, whose efforts helped ensure that wild places like the River of No Return wilderness remain protected for future generations. The rugged beauty of the wilderness, the challenge of the river, and the heritage of the people who explored it all converge in the design of this single coin, carrying forward a story that is as timeless as the landscapes it depicts when looking at the River of No Return quarter. One can imagine the roaring sound of the water, the towering cliffs, and the brave souls who dared to navigate it. The coin stands as both art and history, a bridge between the tangible world of currency and the intangible world of memory and meaning. The America the Beautiful program sought to inspire pride in the natural and historic treasures of the United States, and the 2019 River of No Return quarter stands out as one of its most evocative releases from its origin in the engraver's studio to its journey through the mint presses and into the hands of the public. This coin has traveled a path as unique as the river it honors, and for collectors and history enthusiasts alike, it offers not just a glimpse into the past, but a reminder of the enduring wild heart of America. Beyond its artistic and minting details, the coin holds deeper meaning tied to the history of the Salmon River and the people who lived, explored, and worked along its banks. Native American tribes, such as the Nez Perce Shoshone Bannock and others, have deep connections to the land, using the river for fishing, travel, and trade. Long before European settlers arrived in the 19th century, explorers, trappers, and miners ventured into the area, seeking fortune and adventure. But the river presented a formidable challenge. Boats could make the trip downstream relatively easily, but the fierce currents made the return journey nearly impossible without extensive portaging or abandoning the vessel altogether. This gave rise to the enduring nickname, River of No Return. The wilderness itself was officially designated in 1980 and later renamed to honor Senator Frank Church, whose tireless work in conservation helped secure legal protection for millions of acres of public land. The designation ensures that the wilderness remains free of roads, buildings, and modern infrastructure, preserving it for future generations to experience in its natural state. This connection between political advocacy, environmental stewardship, and public appreciation is exactly the kind of story the America the Beautiful Quarters program was designed to tell. Collectors who specialize in modern U.S. coinage often track mintage numbers to determine rarity. The 2019 River of No Return quarter had total mintages in the hundreds of millions for circulation strikes, with smaller numbers for the proof and silver proof editions. Although common in circulated condition, the coin in pristine, uncirculated state, especially with certain error features, can command significant value in the numismatic market over time. The popularity of America the Beautiful quarters has grown as more people seek to complete the full set, making even modern coins, like this one, more desirable in top grades, certified by third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC. The River of No Return quarter also serves as a cultural ambassador for Idaho, inspiring people to learn more about the state, its landscapes, and its history. Travel agencies and tourism boards have noted that coin releases tied to specific locations often spark increased interest in visiting those sites. The image of a lone boatman braving the waters encourages thoughts of adventure, exploration, and connection to the wild, and for many the quarter becomes a small token that carries the spirit of the wilderness into their daily lives. Even years after its release, the 2019 River of No Return quarter continues to appear in circulation and in collections, reminding people that U.S. coins are not just tools of commerce, but vessels of heritage. The America the Beautiful Quarters program has since concluded, but its legacy remains in the hands of those who collected, saved, and shared these coins, each one a tangible chapter in the story of the United States. Coins history. Unveiling the hidden story behind the 2020 Salt River Bay quarter, the rare coin that carries centuries of history in its design and value. The 2020 $2 Salt River Bay is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series launched in 2010 by the United States Mint to honor national parks and sites in each state territory and the District of Columbia. The Salt River Bay, National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve, represents the U.S. Virgin Islands in this program, and its quarter was issued in 2020. The design on this coin is not just a piece of art, but a story that goes deep into history, culture, environment, and heritage. Salt River Bay is located on the island of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and it is a site of immense historical and ecological importance. Historically, it is one of the few places in the United States where Christopher Columbus is recorded to have landed during his voyages to the Americas. In 1493, on his second voyage, Columbus encountered the indigenous Kalinago people at Salt River Bay. This contact was one of the Earliest recorded meetings between Europeans and native inhabitants in what is now U.S. territory, the Kalinago were known for their fierce resistance to colonization and their cultural identity, and this encounter marks a significant chapter in early colonial history. The Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve was established to protect both its historical and natural resources. The area contains archaeological sites that date back over 2,000 years, revealing the lives of indigenous peoples long before European arrival. Artifacts from these early inhabitants provide valuable insight into their fishing practices, agriculture, pottery, and trade networks. The bay itself is a rare estuarine system where fresh and salt water meet, creating a rich habitat for a variety of marine life, including endangered species of sea turtles, mangroves, and coral reefs. The mangroves are especially important because they serve as nurseries for fish, protect the shoreline from erosion, and help filter pollutants from the water. The coin's design by artist Richard Masters and sculpted by Joseph Mena features a red mangrove tree in the foreground with its distinctive prop roots spreading into the water and the open sea in the background. This image captures the ecological significance of Salt River Bay and its natural beauty. The mangrove is symbolic not just of the park's environment, but of resilience and life in delicate balance with nature. The choice of the mangrove as the central design element reflects the U.S. Mint's aim to raise awareness of environmental preservation alongside honoring historical heritage. The reverse side of the coin carries the inscriptions Salt River Bay, United States Virgin Islands 2020, and E Pluribus Unum. The obverse features the classic profile of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932, and used on all quarters in the series. The Salt River Bay quarter was released on April 13, 2020, and it became an instant interest point for collectors due to its striking design and limited mintage compared to more common quarters. From a numismatic perspective, this coin holds significance because it was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each minted in 3 locations. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each mint mark adding to its collectability. The San Francisco mint struck proof and silver-proof versions, making them more valuable to collectors. The uncirculated and circulating versions from Philadelphia and Denver also gained attention due to the smaller production runs in 2020, partly influenced by the COVID-19 pandemic, which reduced coin production and distribution. The pandemic year context adds another layer to the historical story of this quarter, as it became a coin representing not just a place in the Virgin Islands, but also a moment in American and world history when economic and social life was disrupted globally. Salt River Bay's cultural and ecological legacy, combined with its representation on the quarter, makes it a coin that bridges past and present. It honors the indigenous peoples who first inhabited the island, the European explorers who arrived centuries ago, and the ongoing efforts to protect and preserve the natural environment. The quarter stands as a reminder of how history and nature are deeply intertwined and how both can be preserved for future generations through awareness, education, and conservation efforts. Collectors today seek out the Salt River Bay quarter for its artistic appeal, historical resonance, and the unique circumstances of its release. Its imagery of the mangrove is a visual tribute to resilience, both ecological and human. The coin is a modern artifact that will continue to hold meaning and value in the years to come. Just as the waters of Salt River Bay continue to sustain life and tell stories of centuries past, the ecological significance of Salt River Bay cannot be overstated. The bay is home to one of the largest remaining mangrove forests in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Mangroves are remarkable plants that thrive in brackish water where fresh and salt water mix. They stabilize coastlines by reducing erosion, serve as breeding grounds for countless fish and crustacean species, and filter pollutants from the water. In addition to mangroves, the bay's coral reefs and seagrass beds support a diversity of marine life, including threatened species such as the green sea turtle and the West Indian manatee. These habitats are fragile and face threats from development pollution and climate change, making their protection a priority for conservationists. The design of the 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter captures this ecological richness through the depiction of a red mangrove tree with its roots extending into the water. The artist Richard Masters and sculptor Joseph Mena worked to convey the intricate structure of the mangrove, its connection to the sea, and its role as a guardian of the shoreline. This design invites viewers to appreciate the complexity of an ecosystem that has sustained human and animal life for centuries. It also serves as a reminder that preserving these environments is essential for future generations. The release of the Salt River Bay Quarter in April 2020 occurred during an unprecedented time in modern history. The COVID-19 pandemic had disrupted economies, halted travel, and changed the daily lives of people across the world. Coin production at the U.S. Mint was reduced, and distribution channels were affected, leading to fewer coins entering circulation than in previous years. For collectors, this added an element of rarity to the 2020 quarters, especially those in uncirculated condition or from specific mints such as San Francisco, which produced limited proof and silver proof editions. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced circulating versions of the coin, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof and silver proof strikes. The proof versions are struck with specially prepared dies and polished planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish that makes them highly sought after by collectors. The silver proof version contains 90% silver, adding intrinsic value to its collectible appeal. For those who specialize in the America the Beautiful Quarters series, the Salt River Bay coin holds a distinct place as one of the later issues in the program and as a representative of the only U.S. territory where Columbus is known to have landed. Numismatists often consider factors such as mintage numbers, condition, and historical context when assessing a coin's value. The Salt River Bay Quarter combines a compelling design with a layered history and a release year that will forever be associated with global upheaval. This convergence of elements makes it a coin that not only tells a story, but also holds the potential for long-term appreciation in the numismatic market. Over time, coins like the Salt River Bay Quarter become ambassadors of history, carrying narratives of exploration, cultural exchange, environmental preservation, and artistic achievement. They serve as tangible links to the past that can be held in the palm of a hand. Each quarter in the America the Beautiful series is a miniature monument to a place of significance. But the Salt River Bay stands out for its ability to unite human history and natural wonder into a single image. Uncover the untold story behind the 2000 New Hampshire $quarter a coin that captures the rugged spirit of the Granite State and hides a history richer than silver itself. In the year 2000, the United States Mint introduced the New Hampshire State Quarter as part of the widely celebrated 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and honored each of the 50 states in the order they entered the Union. New Hampshire, being the 9th state to join the Union in 1788, was the 9th coin to be released in the series, and this quarter immediately stood out due to its striking design that captures both the natural beauty and the historical identity of the state. The reverse of the coin features the famous Old Man of the Mountain, a rock formation on Cannon Mountain in Franconia Notch, which had been a symbol of the state for generations. The rock profile was a beloved landmark that inspired countless stories, photographs, and visits from tourists before it tragically collapsed in 2003, making the coin design even more historically significant and poignant. The Old Man of the Mountain is depicted with precise detail showing the craggy granite face in profile alongside the state motto, "Live Free or Die," a bold declaration rooted in the revolutionary spirit of New Hampshire. The motto comes from a statement made by General John Stark, The state's most famous Revolutionary War hero, who wrote in 1809, "Live free or die death, is not the worst of evils." This phrase became the official motto in 1945 and is a defining element of the state identity. Beneath the motto, the coin also shows 9 stars arranged on either side, representing New Hampshire as the 9th state to ratify the Constitution. The year 1788 is included to mark the year of statehood, while the minting year 2000 appears below. The designer of the reverse, William Cousins, crafted an image that resonated deeply with residents and history enthusiasts alike, while the obverse bears the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, which has been a mainstay on the quarter since 1932. The release of the New Hampshire quarter was not just about numismatics. It was part of a larger cultural moment when Americans across the country were engaging with their own state histories and collecting coins with renewed enthusiasm. For New Hampshire, the coin became a small metallic ambassador telling the story of its rugged independence and natural splendor. The Old Man of the Mountain itself had been a symbol in literature and folklore dating back to its first recorded observation in 1805 by a surveying team. It became a subject of poetry, paintings, and even advertising. Over the decades, the profile appeared on license plates, state signs, and official documents. The state took pride in its geological wonder, and when the rock formation collapsed on May 3, 2003, due to centuries of freeze-thaw cycles, it was a moment of deep mourning for residents. The collapse only enhanced the significance of the 2000 quarter, which now serves as a lasting tribute to the lost landmark collectors, and historians quickly recognized the special meaning of the New Hampshire quarter, particularly those minted in the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. While hundreds of millions were produced, some minting varieties have become more sought after, especially in high-grade conditions. Proof versions struck in San Francisco in both clad and 90% silver compositions are prized for their mirror-like finishes and sharp details. The coin also fits into a broader discussion of the state quarters program as a cultural and economic success. The program sparked a new wave of coin collecting, bringing millions of Americans into the hobby for the first time and generating substantial revenue for the U.S. Mint. The New Hampshire quarter's enduring appeal lies in its combination of natural history, state pride, and the bittersweet fact that the landmark it depicts no longer exists. Beyond its numismatic value, the coin captures the philosophical essence of live free or die, a statement that has resonated through wars, social change, and political debates in the United States, and remains one of the most uncompromising mottos of any state in the Union. To fully appreciate the historical depth of this coin, one must consider not only its artistry, but also the geological history of Franconia Notch, the role of New Hampshire in the American Revolution, its industrial heritage, its political traditions, as the site of the first presidential primary in the modern nominating process, and its environmental conservation efforts. The state has long balanced its love of independence with a strong sense of community and stewardship over its natural resources. The quarter in its small space encapsulates these themes, serving as a gateway to deeper stories about the people, landscapes, and ideals of New Hampshire. As the years pass and the state quarters program itself becomes part of numismatic history, the 2000 New Hampshire quarter continues to stand out, both for its elegant design and for the poignancy added by the loss of its central image, making it a must-have piece for collectors and a timeless token of state heritage. From a cultural perspective, the state quarters program, in which the New Hampshire quarter was released, represented a turning point in American coin collecting. Launched in 1999, the program released 5 new designs each year in the order states entered the Union. The initiative proved to be one of the most popular in U.S. Mint history, engaging millions of new collectors and sparking interest across all age groups. By the time the New Hampshire quarter was released in August 2000, the program was already a nationwide phenomenon. The unveiling of the design was met with excitement in New Hampshire, where residents felt pride in seeing their symbol carried in pockets and purses across the nation. The coin also became a point of reflection after the Old Man of the Mountains collapse. Efforts were made to preserve the memory of the landmark through photographs, sculptures, and other artworks. The state erected a memorial at Franconia Notch in 2011, featuring steel profiles that allow visitors to imagine the formation as it once appeared. The 2000 quarter remains a small yet powerful part of this memorialization because it captured the image in official form before nature took it away. In this sense, the coin has transcended its role as currency and become a keepsake for those who value the state's heritage. The artistry of the coin cannot be overlooked either. William Cousins, the designer of the reverse, was an experienced engraver at the U.S. Mint, who brought a sense of balance and proportion to the composition. His depiction of the old man is precise, yet conveys the rugged texture of granite, while the motto and stars are positioned in a way that emphasizes the overall harmony of the design. On the obverse, the portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan remains a constant. Across the State Quarters series, providing a link to the long tradition of Washington quarters dating back to their first issuance in 1932. This continuity between old and new, between tradition and innovation, is part of what made the State Quarters program so successful. The New Hampshire Quarter also serves as a reminder of the role of coins as ambassadors of place and history. Long after paper, money fades, coins endure, through generations being passed down or discovered in collections and change jars. Decades from now, someone may stumble upon a shiny or worn example of the 2000 quarter and wonder about the face on the rock, the meaning of the words "live free or die," and the state that inspired such an image. That curiosity may lead them to the story of the old man, the Revolutionary War, the Constitution, and the enduring spirit of a small but determined state. It's not just a quarter, this is a time capsule in your hand. The 2003 Maine quarter tells a story of rugged coastlines, iconic lighthouses, and a maritime heritage that shaped the nation. And if you think it is just worth 25 cents, you might want to think again, because what I am about to reveal will change the way you look at coins forever. The Maine quarter dollar, released in 2003, is part of the United States Mint 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. This program was one of the most ambitious coinage series in the history of the United States, introducing unique reverse designs for each state in the order that they entered the Union. Maine, the 23rd state to join the Union in 1820, had its design released on June 2, 2003, and quickly became a favorite among collectors and residents. June 2, 2003, and quickly became a favorite among collectors and residents alike. The design on the reverse features the Pemaquid Point Light, a historic lighthouse located in Bristol, Maine, which has been guiding mariners since 1827. The lighthouse stands on a rocky cliff overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, a symbol of safety, guidance, and resilience in the face of the unpredictable coastal weather. The image is complemented by a depiction of a schooner sailing in the distance, representing the maritime heritage and shipbuilding history that is central to Maine's identity. The design also incorporates pine trees along the rocky shoreline, an homage to the state's nickname, the Pine Tree State. The selection of this design was the result of an extensive process that involved public input, artist renderings, and the approval of the Maine Commemorative Quarter Advisory Committee. The committee reviewed several design concepts before choosing the one that best captured the essence of Maine's history, culture, and natural beauty. The Pemaquid Point Lighthouse was not only a practical choice due to its historical significance, but also a visually striking one, making the coin instantly recognizable to anyone familiar with the Maine coastline. Maine has a deep connection to maritime trade, fishing, and shipbuilding. Industries from the early days of European settlement in the 1600s through the 19th century shipyards in Maine produced some of the finest wooden sailing ships in America, and the schooner depicted on the quarter pays tribute to that tradition. Fishing communities along the coast relied on vessels like these for trade and survival, and many still do to this day. The coin's imagery therefore bridges the past and present of Maine's seafaring traditions. The obverse of the coin retains the familiar profile of George Washington designed by John Flanagan with slight modifications to accommodate the series. The inscriptions include United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust $quarter, and the mint mark depending on where it was struck. Main quarters were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with some special proof versions struck in sand. Francisco in clad and silver compositions collectors often seek out high-grade examples, particularly those with sharp details and minimal wear, or the silver proof issues which have a mirror-like finish that enhances the lighthouse and schooner design, while the face value is 25 cents uncirculated, and proof versions can be worth more depending on condition and rarity. One aspect that fascinates collectors is the possibility of errors in the minting process, like double dies off center strikes or other anomalies, which can make a main quarter far more valuable than its regular counterparts. Such errors occur infrequently, but when they do, they become prized possessions among numismatists, adding an extra layer of excitement to coin hunting. The main quarter's release was met with enthusiasm in the state, with events and ceremonies celebrating the unveiling school programs, educating children about the history and significance of the coin, and a surge in coin collecting interest in the region. Many residents proudly collected rolls of the coins as keepsakes and to pass down to future generations. The Pemaquid Point Lighthouse itself continues to draw thousands of visitors every year, many of whom are inspired to see the real-life location featured on the coin. The lighthouse is part of the Pemaquid Point Lighthouse Park, which offers sweeping ocean views, a small museum, and historical exhibits that tell the story of Maine's coastal life. This blending of numismatics, tourism, and heritage makes the Maine Quarter a unique example of how coinage can serve as both currency and cultural ambassador. The 2003 Maine Quarter is more than a commemorative piece. It is a miniature canvas that encapsulates centuries of history from the early Native American presence in the region through European exploration, colonial settlement, statehood, and the modern era. Maine's rugged beauty and maritime traditions are carved into every detail of this coin, reminding us that every quarter has a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than 25 cents. The release of the 2003 quarter was part of a broader trend in numismatics, where coin designs were used to promote state identity, tourism, and education. The 50-state quarters program reached millions of Americans, many of whom began collecting for the first time. Children traded quarters in school. Adults searched their change, and coin dealers saw increased interest from casual hobbyists and serious collectors alike. The Maine Quarter stood out for its detailed and picturesque design, which captured both natural beauty and historical significance. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 217 million Maine quarters, while the Denver Mint produced over 231 million, making it a relatively high mintage coin in circulation. However, its value to collectors depends on condition with mint state and proof examples. Commanding higher prices, the San Francisco Mint struck both clad and silver proofs, with the silver proofs being particularly attractive due to their sharp contrast and luster. Collectors also watch for die varieties and errors with the Maine Quarter. While there are no famous widespread errors, like the Wisconsin extra leaf quarters, certain examples show die cracks, die chips, or weak strikes, which can be of interest to specialists high grade. Examples graded MS-68 or higher by major grading services can sell for a premium, especially if they have perfect luster-sharp strikes and no visible contact marks. The lighthouse keeper's life at Pemaquid Point is another fascinating part of this coin's backstory. Keepers lived on site often with their families, maintaining the light in all weather. They would climb the tower multiple times a day to trim wicks, fill lamps, or later to maintain the Fresnel lens. Storms could batter the coast for days, forcing keepers to stay vigilant to ensure the light never went out in winter. Ice and snow made the work even more challenging, yet many keepers served for decades, developing a deep connection to the light and the sea. Some of their stories have been passed down in local lore and preserved in museum archives. The location of Pemaquid. Point itself is historically significant beyond the lighthouse. Nearby archaeological sites show evidence of early Native American habitation and later English and French settlements. The area was contested during the colonial wars of the 17th and 18th centuries and saw trade conflict and cultural exchange over the centuries, standing on the rocks at Pemaquid Point. Today, one can imagine the countless ships that passed by relying on the light. For safety, the schooner on the coin is a reminder of that enduring relationship between Maine's people and the sea. The Maine Quarter also reflects a broader theme in the 50-state quarters program, which is the use of coinage as a storytelling medium. Coins are not just currency. They are artifacts that connect us to place history and identity. The decision to choose the Pemaquid Point lighthouse design over other submissions was made after careful consideration of what image would best represent Maine not just to its own citizens, but to the entire country, and indeed the world. Uncover the untold secrets and hidden value of America's most fascinating coins, where history is minted in metal and every coin tells a priceless story. The Connecticut $quarter 1999 stands as one of the most remarkable coins in the United States 50-state quarters program, issued by the United States Mint to honor each of the 50 states in the order that they ratified the Constitution or were admitted into the Union. The Connecticut quarter was the last coin issued in the inaugural year of this program, making it the fifth quarter in the series. Its release date was October 12, 1999, and it quickly became notable for its intricate and highly detailed design that captured the essence of the state. The reverse of the coin depicts the charter oak, a legendary and historic tree in Hartford, Connecticut, that holds deep symbolic value in American history. The charter oak is famously associated with a significant event in 1687 when the colony of Connecticut sought to preserve its rights and autonomy. The story goes that when an English representative, Sir Edmund Andros, attempted to seize the colonial charter, the colonists hid the document inside the hollow of this massive oak tree, thus preventing its confiscation. This act became a symbol of American liberty and resistance against authoritarian rule. The charter oak itself lived for centuries before being felled by a storm in 1856, but its memory remains deeply rooted in the heritage of the state. The reverse design was created by T. James Farrell, based on a rendition by artist Leslie Evans. It shows the grand sprawling branches of the charter oak rendered with exceptional detail. The words Connecticut, the charter oak, 1788 appear along with the year of issue 1999, and the inscription E pluribus unum. The obverse of the coin features the traditional portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which had been used on U.S. quarters since 1932, with some modifications to fit the state quarters format. The Connecticut quarter was minted at both the Philadelphia Mint with the P mint mark and the Denver Mint with the D mint mark. In addition, special proof versions were struck at the San Francisco Mint bearing the S mint mark. These proofs included both clad copper-nickel versions and 90% silver versions for collectors. The total mintage across all types was immense due to the popularity of the state quarters program and the heavy demand from both collectors and the general public for circulating examples. In terms of circulation strikes, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 688 million pieces, while the Denver Mint struck over 657 million. Proof versions from San Francisco added millions more, making this one of the highest mintage quarters in U.S. history, while the majority of these coins remain common in circulated condition. There are still certain varieties and high-grade examples that can carry notable value. Collectors often seek out examples of the Connecticut quarter in pristine mint state condition, particularly those graded MS-67 or higher, by leading grading services such as PCGS or NGC. These high-grade coins can be worth significantly more than face value due to their scarcity. In such condition, factors like sharp strikes, strong luster, and the absence of contact marks are critical in determining their grade and value. Additionally, there are known errors and die varieties for this issue, which can greatly enhance desirability. Examples include off-center strikes, die cracks, doubled dies, and coins struck on improperly prepared planchets. Some of these errors can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and visual appeal. The design itself sparked both admiration and technical challenges. The intricate branches of the charter oak required precise die engraving and careful minting to avoid weak strikes. In circulation, many coins show flattening of the fine branch details due to wear, but well-preserved examples reveal the remarkable craftsmanship of the design. This level of detail made the Connecticut quarter stand out among other state quarters, and it remains a favorite among numismatists for both its artistic beauty and historical depth. The historical context of the Connecticut quarter is deeply tied to the state's role in the early development of American governance. Connecticut was the fifth state to ratify the United States Constitution, doing so on January 9, 1788. Its colonial history is rich with stories of self-governance and the pursuit of liberty. The Fundamental Orders of 1639, often cited as one of the first written constitutions in the New World, originated here and set the precedent for later democratic frameworks. This deep tradition of independence and legal self-determination is embodied in the symbolism of the charter oak and thus in the coin itself. Beyond numismatics, the Connecticut quarter had a cultural impact as it brought renewed attention to the legend of the charter oak. Many who collected the coin were inspired to learn more about the state's history and heritage. The design was widely praised for being both historically meaningful and visually distinctive. It also underscored the mission of the State Quarters program, which was to engage the public with history, geography, and coin collecting while celebrating the diversity of the United States. Over the years, certain Connecticut quarters have achieved significant auction results, particularly rare error coins or top population graded examples. For instance, coins graded MS-68 have sold for substantial sums, as such quality is exceedingly rare given the large mintage and the fact that most coins entered circulation almost immediately after release. Collectors who search through bank rolls or original mint bags sometimes still find well-preserved pieces, though the odds diminish with time as circulation wear takes its toll. In the broader narrative of American coinage, the Connecticut quarter represents a successful blending of artistry history and mass appeal. It captures a story from the late 17th century and preserves it on a piece of modern currency, ensuring that the legacy of the charter oak endures. The coin serves as a tangible link between the past and present, reminding holders of the enduring values of liberty and resistance to tyranny that shaped the nation. As part of the first year of the 50 State Quarters program, the Connecticut quarter also benefits from the heightened interest that surrounded the program's debut. Millions of Americans began collecting quarters from circulation as each new design was released, leading to one of the largest mass participation numismatic events in history. This grassroots enthusiasm revitalized coin collecting and introduced a new generation to the hobby making. Coins like the Connecticut quarter an entry point for countless collectors. Even today, more than 2 decades after its release, the Connecticut quarter continues to be studied, admired, and collected. It serves as a model of how coins can educate as well as commemorate. It embodies the pride of a state and the spirit of a nation, and its detailed imagery ensures that it remains one of the most memorable designs in modern U.S. coinage history. From casual collectors to serious numismatists, from school children to seasoned historians, the Connecticut quarter has touched countless lives and enriched the story of American money.